back, everyone. I think it's time to start planting up some planters for the summertime. It's early spring. The weather is finally starting to get nice enough. We're usually over 10, fingers crossed, for daytime temperatures, and above 0 at nighttime temperatures Celsius. So yeah, as long as it's above 10 degrees outside and the nighttime temperature is hovering around 10. Anything below 5, I usually bring everything in because you can get some damage on some of these tropical stuff. But anyway, right now it's 21 degrees Celsius, and I don't think that there's any risk of frost outside. It's May 6th at the moment. I don't know if I'm going to be posting this video on May 6th today, so it might be a week from now. But anyway, just so you know, the date that I started. Usually I spend a lot of money on my pots. This year I think I'm going to scale back. It really is expensive, and I'm trying to save up for a vacation at some point. So I have enough tropical plants in my life, and when it comes to annuals, you used to be able to buy them in small little pots. I don't know, maybe where you're from, where you are, you could still buy the really nice annuals in small, like liner size plants. They've stopped doing that around here. Now all of those are in 4-inch pots, and you can't get them any smaller, and they're running about $3 a piece. So when you're going to be putting 15-20 plants at least in a pot, it really adds up. So this year I'm going on the cheap. I'm going to use stuff that I really don't like so much. But anyway, we're going to go through the basics here. First off, these are pots that I purchased for $10 at my local garden center. At the end of the season, they had these pots. They were just like a fiberglass pot. They were kind of blackish gray. They didn't look very nice at all. I don't even know why they were the color they were. So anyway, they were $10 a piece. So if you can see the size of these, they're quite substantial. They're probably 18 to 20 inches across. So that's a really beautiful sized planter for the patio. And in an earlier video, I did the faux stone spray paint on the outside of the pot. These are the ones that I was talking about that I did originally. So I turned those $10 pots into something that look a lot more expensive. They really do look like stone. And back when I did it, the spray paint, it didn't harden right off. It took them about a month to really harden. On a nice hot day, they would be nice and solid, but after a rain or maybe in a very humid, dewy morning, if you were to touch it, the paint would come off. So they're good and sturdy now. I could rub my hand across them and not have any problems. These were from last year. As you can see, I've got soil already in here. This is actually soil from last year. I don't necessarily recommend it, but I was trying to save some money. If the soil looks like it's really broken down, that I wouldn't be using it, but the soil seems to be just fine. Excuse me. As you can see, I have some sweet potato vines in here. They don't look very good. Well, I didn't intend on these to be here. Last season, I ripped everything out, and I said, you know what, I'm not going to bother with those potatoes. I'll take them out in the spring. But all winter long, I had them in the basement. They were trying to grow the whole time. So anyway, they're here. It's going to save me a little bit of money, and that's what I like. So since these are all really long, I had them by my grow light, so they did get some light, but I really didn't water them at all. This one here, I don't know whether you can see, but the potatoes are absolutely huge. I don't know if you can eat them. If anybody knows if you can eat these, let me know. And maybe if you can, maybe next year I'll have a sweet potato party. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to chop all these back. I like them. I usually buy sweet potatoes for all of my baskets. I like how they trail and they really take over. And if they grow right, they will grow down the side of my deck and just give a really nice appearance. So I'll cut them both back. Not worried about whether they're too short or not, because I really didn't want them there anyway over winter. They grew, so get rid of those. Okay, so my pots are going to be very similar. I usually do a lot of tropicals in my pots, but this year I'm just going to do sort of a basic mode of designing these. I'm just going to top these up a little bit. They already had soil, but because I removed all the plants last year, they just down a little bit. So top that up, cover those potato roots a little bit, and where do I have that? Oh, right here. I've got some Smart Coat fertilizer. This is just for hanging baskets. This is a 14-14-14. I like to put in this slow release fertilizer into all of my my container plants. I'm going to be very generous with it. Take the lid off, for goodness sake. Who am I kidding? I'm going to be very generous with it. What I do is I put in the, work this in. I put in the slow release fertilizer. That way I also fertilize every second or third watering with a regular Miracle Grow or whatever you have, a balanced fertilizer. This kind of keeps it so that when it rains outside, it kind of puts the food in there too. It's best to keep your plants good and fed, so no harm in giving it a little extra. They're only growing for a short time, so as much of a boost you can give them is beneficial. Okay, so I've got that all worked up. It's nice. In here I also have, from last year, cocoa fiber. I found that was a really nice addition. Kept things a lot more moist than what containers usually are. I don't know whether you've noticed, but usually around mid-summertime the soil really dries out. It dries up almost every day, and then your plants look like heck, and nobody likes that. So anyway, I've got some plants here. Basic structure. You want to have a plant that is a focal point plant. Usually that's a tall plant. Maybe it's got nice flowers. Usually it stands up above everything else anyway, and they usually call that a thriller. So this is what I'm going to use. I've got this banana. I don't know what kind it is. I'm just assuming that it's going to be a Cavendish banana, but I could be wrong. It doesn't say, it just says banana plant. So this is going to be my thriller for this basket, or pot. I just got this out of the tropical plant section. Only cost me $2.99, so you can't go wrong. So that'll go in there. I'll raise it up just a little bit because as I add more plants, the soil level will displace a little bit more. I'm not breaking up the roots. The root ball wasn't very... Okay, maybe I will break it up just a little bit to stop it from spinning. Not really necessary, but it wasn't so popped down that it wouldn't be able to get out of its little home. Okay, with this pot, I've decided, because I'm going on the cheap, got some beautiful osteospermums. It's an annual. They like full sun, so these plants are going to be in the sun until about, well, early morning until about 3-4 o'clock in the afternoon. So full sun is perfect. I used to grow these in the condo that I used to live in, and they didn't do very well because I only got maybe 3 hours of sun. By about noon, the sun was gone. So these have a beautiful root system. So I'm just gonna break that up just a little bit, and I'm gonna plant 3 of them here. I'm gonna plant them right up close to the banana. They'll be friends. If you're familiar with bananas, the bananas grow usually a new leaf every week or so in the summertime. So this banana should at least be this big by the end of the season. If it's like a dwarf Cavendish, it should be a couple of feet tall by the end of the season. So it will be a focal point. Right now it's a little bit small. So I'm just taking this osteospermum. This one's a beautiful white variety with a purple center. And I have one more. Another purple one. Thought that the white would just show off the purple ones a lot nicer. Break up the root system a little bit. Sounds like the neighbors are having a good time over there. They just got a hot tub, so they're trying to fill it up, and all the kids are really excited. Wish I got a hot tub when I was little. Anyway, so this, we have the thriller, what they talk about, and then we've got the these are the filler. I would call these also thriller because they're quite beautiful, very stunning flower. The banana's not going to have any flowers that I'm aware of. You never know. Strange things happen. Plants have a mind of their own and they do what they want to do. So maybe it will flower. I doubt it. There's going to be a little bit of a redness going on in the leaves. So, but just in general, it's going to be the focal point of the pot. Then at about 18 inches, these osteospermums are going to take the show, and so it's going to be the filler plant. Now we've got the space all around the outside, and I'm just going to use, again on the cheap, normally I would buy things like Calibrachoa, the Million Bells Petunia. I would also do like, oh, what are they called? Little blue daisies. Anyway, I won't stress. Maybe some other trailers, verbena. All of those things are very expensive when you're buying several. So I wanted to avoid that this year. So anyway, I'm going to put 4 of these, all equally spaced around this pot. Not going to put any around where the potato vine is, because the potato vine by nature is going to be a thug. It's gonna go crazy. It's gonna get huge. It's gonna take over the pot, but I'll actively prune it, and it will be fine. So anyway, we'll plant these guys in here. When you're planting any sort of trailers, make sure to sort of point them towards the side of the pot. Just gonna add a little bit more soil to this. Just lightly point them towards the side of the pot, and they'll naturally start trailing down there. All right, so we've got all these guys in here. They're looking lovely. So this is pot number 1. It's got its feature plant, it's got its filler plants, and then it's got the spiller plants, or the trailing plants, including this potato vine. So it's going to look lovely. When summertime hits, I do this early because when summertime hits, I want them to be kind of full. So when the parties start happening in my backyard, people are like, wow, they've really come a long way. And they're not quite as boring as the generic pots that you buy from the garden center. Some garden centers do a wonderful job, but for the most part, they're a little bit on the plain side. So save these pots. You can always use them later. Maybe we'll use the technique of doing the faux stone finish on these pots and give those black pots a new life. Okay. So